Hello students, my name is Bruno Mrigo, an economics teacher. So today we are going to discuss the theory of demand and supply, and the subtopic will be price elasticity of demand. So our topic, the subject is economics and the topic is theories of demand and supply, and the subtopic we are going to discuss is the price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of So our topic is theories of demand and supply, and the subtopic is price elasticity of demand. Now, the price of elasticity of demand is the degree of change in a price as a result which led to the change in quantity demanded. So price elasticity of demand equals to the ratio between change in quantity over percentage change in price. The same as Q1 minus Q naught over P1 minus P naught times P naught over Q naught. So this will be our formula to calculate the price elasticity of demand. I hope all of you, my students, you know this formula. So now let us go to an example and see how we can calculate the price elasticity by using our formula. Now let us consider an example. Consider the table. The table shows the price and the quantity demanded So let us assume the price was 10 and the quantity demanded was 30 units. And the price changed from 10 to 15 and the supply falls to 12. Now, the question is calculate the price elasticity of the price elasticity of demand. Calculate the price elasticity of demand when price increased, from 10 to 15. As you see the information in our table, we are given the price and the quantity. Now, the question is, calculate the price elasticity of demand when the price increased from 10 to 15. Now, let us see the solution, how we can calculate the price elasticity of demand. I hope you take a note on the information you are given the table. So now let us see how we can calculate the price elasticity. We know price elasticity of demand equals to Q1 minus Q0 over P1 minus P0 times P0 over Q0, where Q1 is the new quantity and Q0 is the original quantity before changing price, and the P1 is the new price, and the P0 is the original price. Now, from the table, the original price is this one, P0, and the P1 is 15. Then this 30 is Q0, and 12 is Q1. Okay, now we can plug these informations in our formula. Will be 12 minus 30, Q1 minus Q0 is 12 minus 30 over 15 minus 10, 15 minus 10 times P0, which is the original price, which is 10, over Q0, which is 30. So when you simplify, here will be negative 18 over, here will be negative, so it will be positive 5 times 10 over 30. The same as this cancel, then remain negative 18 over 15. So when you simplify by using the calculator, here the answer 18 divided by 15, the answer is equal to negative 1.2. So therefore, the price elasticity of demand is negative 1.2. So you can put the absolute to eliminate this negative sign. So price elasticity of demand is 1.2. And the results, this results we know is elastic, since when you get the price elasticity is greater than 1, we say the price elasticity is elastic. Okay, now let us do some interpretations concerning the price elasticity of demand, how we can interpret, and what the meaning of these values if you get, let's say, the value which is greater than 1 or less than 1 or whatever. Now let us do some interpretations about the value of elasticity. I hope you note down this answer. So let us now go to the interpretations of price elasticities. As I said, sometimes when you calculate, you can get the answer is greater than 1 or less than 1. Now, let us look for case 1. For case 1, let's say, if you find that after calculating the price elasticity, you get the value of price elasticity of demand is greater than 1. When you get the price elasticity is greater than 1, this we call as the price elasticity will be elastic. So the price elasticity will be elastic. Now, this means that if you get the price elasticity is greater than 1, which is elastic, it means the percentage change in Q is greater than percentage change in P. Now, if with that case, this means that a small change in price brings a large change in quantity demanded. So if you find that the result is the value of price elasticity is greater than 1, it means a small change in a price or a small change in percentage of price brings a large change in quantity demanded. So this also we can show graphically the effects of price elasticity if it is elastic. Let us show the price elasticity graphically. Consider this diagram. Here is price, and here is quantity. Now, as I said, assume the price is at P naught and the quantity is Q naught. So our points, the original point is this one. Now assume the price decrease. The price, let's say, decrease from P naught to P1. Now a small decrease in the price brings a large increase in quantity. It means a fall in the price brings a large increase in quantity. So our point, the new point will be this one. Now if you join the original point and the new point, the curve will be like this one. So this is the demand curve for the case of elastic. So you can see the demand curve is too flat. Now let us go in case of price elasticity is less than 1. Case 2, price elasticity of demand is less than 1. Now, if you get the price elasticity of demand is less than 1, this will be inelastic. Inelastic. Now, what this means that a large change, this means that a large change in price brings a small change in quantity demanded. So if the price elasticity is inelastic, it means a large change in the price brings or results into small change in quantity demanded. So graphical will look like this. Here is price. The vertical axis you put the price, and the horizontal axis you put quantity. Now assume the original price is P naught, and the original quantity, let's say, is Q naught. Okay? Now assume the price now increases by large percent from, let's say, P naught to P1. As I always state that if price increases, demand will fall. Now, the demand falls from Q naught, let's say, to Q1. Demand falls by small percent or small proportion. So the point will intersect here. So when you join the 2 points, the original point and the new point, the demand curve will be like this one. So this will be the demand curve if it is inelastic. And you can see the demand curve is too steep compared to the previous, which is elastic. So this means that the change in the price brings small effect in demand. Means you want to reduce the price or increase the price, the demand will change in very, very small percent. Now let us see to another case. If you get the price elasticity is 1. The third case, price elasticity of demand is equal to 1. Now, if you get the price elasticity of demand is equal to 1, it means the changes in price brings the same changes in quantity demanded. So when it is 1, say, is unitary. It means the percentage change in price is equal to percentage change in quantity. So when you divide, we'll get equal to 1. Now, graphically, this one will be shown as a 4. For the case of price elasticity is equal to 1, graphical will be like this one. Here will be price, and here is quantity. So assume here is the original price, and here is the original quantity. Now assume the price falls by a certain percent to P1. The demand will increase by the same percent, let's say up to Q1. So demand will increase by the same percent. So when you draw the graph, it will be like this one. So it means here the percentage change in price is equal to the percentage change in demand. Now for the case 4, sometimes you can obtain the price elasticity of demand is equal to 0. Price elasticity of demand is equal to 0. This means that price changes while demand remain the same. So if the demand do not change, it means when you find the difference will be equal to 0. So graphical will be like this one. Here is the price, and here is quantity. So P naught, Q naught. Now assume the price increases from P naught to P1. Demand remains the same. So when you join the graph of demand will be vertical. So the demand curve for the case of when price elasticity is equal to 0 will be vertical. So this we call as a perfect inelastic. Perfect inelastic. So if you get the price of elasticity is equal to 0, this is perfect inelastic. And the elasticity is when the price elasticity of demand price elasticity of demand is equal to infinite or undefined. This will be perfect elastic. Be perfect elastic. In this case, price do not change while demand changes. So graphically, if the price elasticity is perfect elastic, it will be like this one. So for the case of price elasticity, perfect elastic, the price will not change, but demand will change. Therefore, assume our price is P naught and the quantity demanded is Q naught. Now, we said under this, the price will remain fixed or will not change, but demand will change. So assume the demand will increase up to Q1, but still the price charged will remain the same. Now, if you join the 2 points, the demand curve will be horizontal. So in this case, if it is perfect elastic, it means the demand curve will be horizontal. So this is how you can interpret the price elasticity of demand. Thank you for listening. Now, let us do a certain problem to see the application of price elasticities, or what are the application of these price elasticities. Now, before we see the application, let us see the following example. We are given this problem. Suppose a seller of a textile of cloth wants to lower the price of cloth from 150 per meter to 140 per meter. If its present sales are 2,000 per month, and further it's estimated that its price elasticity of demand for the product is equal to negative 0.07. Now show whether or not the total revenue will increase as a result of decision to lower the price. Then Roman 2, calculate the actual magnitude of its new total revenue. Okay, now let us see the application of these price elasticities by solving the following problem. Let us extract the data from our problem. We are given the original price, the data, given P naught equals to 150. Then the price decreased from 150 to 140. It means the P1, which is the new price, will be 140. And we are given the present sales. It means the total revenue when the price is P naught is 2,000. So the original total revenue is equal to 2,000 shillings. Now, also we are given the information of price elasticity of demand. We have price elasticity of demand, which is negative 0.07. Since our value is less than 1, we said this will be inelastic. Now, before we can show whether or not the total revenue will change or will decrease, let us consider this information. As we said, a large change in price brings a small change in quantity if we are given what? Inelastic. In this case, if you decide to lower the price, here the total revenue will not increase. When you do the decision to lower the price, if the price elasticity is inelastic, the total revenue will fall. So for the case 1, you can answer that the total revenue will fall as a result of the decision to lower the price. So for case 1, the total revenue will fall due to the decision of lowering the price, since price elasticity of demand is what? Inelastic. So for the case 2, calculate the exact magnitude of its new total revenue. Now before we calculate, we need to have the information of Q1 and the Q2. We know that price elasticity of demand equals to Q1 minus Q0 over P1 minus P0 times P0 over Q0. Okay? But the price elasticity of demand we are given is negative 0.07 equals to Q1. We are not given minus Q0, but since you are given total revenue, it means Q0 will be equal to total revenue not divided by price note. So the Q0 will be 2,000 divided by 150. When we divide here, when you use your calculator, dividing this numerical, the Q0, you'll get 13.3 units. So the Q0 will be 13.3 units when you use your calculator. So here you subtract 13.3 over P1 is 140 minus P0 150, then times P0 which is 150 over Q0 which is 13.3. Okay? Now when you simplify this equation, the Q1 will be equal to, simplify this expression by using your calculator, the Q1 will be 13.36 units. So you have now the new quantity as a result of lowering the price from 150 to 140. Now, here we asked to calculate the magnitude of its new total revenue. The total revenue now will be, let us do here, total revenue, which is the new total revenue, will be equal to price 1 times Q1. It means the new price times the new quantity. So here will be the new price is 140 times the new quantity is 13.36. So when you multiply the two numbers, you'll get 1,870.4. So therefore, the total revenue is 1,870.4 shillings. So as we said in the Roman 1, as the price falls, if it is price elastic is inelastic, the total revenue will fall. So here we proved that as the price falls from 150 to 140, the total revenue declined from 2,000 to 1,870.4. So this was the presentations for today. I hope all of you revised this concept, and make sure that you practice a lot in this concept, since this concept is very important in the daily life activities or in any economic activities, especially in pricing decision. For instance, if you find the price elasticity of demand is elastic, what is the decision of price making? In that case, if you find that the price elasticity is elastic, for that case, you need to lower the price in order to increase the demand. In this case, will lead you to increase the total revenue. So for the case of elastic, the best decision is to lower the price in order to raise the revenue. Now for the case of inelastic, the best decision, if you want to raise the total revenue, the only decision is to raise the price. When you raise the price, also the total revenue will increase. So you can advise also your parents on how to use this concept of price elasticity in decision making, especially in their business when they want to decide which price to charge for different commodities. Also, the price elasticity is very important in the international trade. For instance, if the country want to protect the domestic industries from competitions from, let's say, the foreign companies. Now, by using the concept of price elasticity, will help to protect the domestic industries by discouraging importation and encouraging exportation. Now, if you get, let's say, the price elasticity is elastic, it is very useful to do the decisions of protecting the domestic industries. So in the case of devaluation, I think you have a knowledge on devaluations. So for that case, this concept is very important. So thank you. Make sure that you follow this concept. Maybe it will appear in your exam, so make sure you revise and you have more interpretations. Now, let us take a break, then we'll discuss some questions from you. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. Now, I received some questions from among you students from different regions. Here, I received a question from Rajab. The question says, assume the price increased by 30% and demand declined by 20%. The question is, calculate the price elasticity of demand. Calculate the price elasticity of demand. Now, for this case, we know that a solution, the price elasticity of demand equals to percentage change in Q over percentage change in price. Now, in our question here, we are given the percentage change in the price and the percentage change in quantity. So you plug this information into their formula. So the percentage change in quantity is percentage change in quantity is 20, and the percentage change in price is 30. Okay? Now, when you simplify this and this, get 2 over 3. And when you divide this one, it will be 0 0.67, which is approximately equal to 0.7. So, dear student, the answer will be 0.7, and this is inelastic. Okay, another question is from Eric. Let us do quickly. The question from Eric says, assume we are given, the question from Eric says, given that the demand function is 35 minus 3.2p, and the supply function is 10 plus 1.8p. The question is calculate the equilibrium price and quantity. Roman 2, calculate price elasticity of demand. So, dear Eric, this question, to get the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, you need to equate the demand function and supply function. So, at equilibrium, the quantity supplied will be equal to quantity demanded. So, when you equate the two equations, will be 35 minus 3.2p equals to 10 plus 1.8p. So, when you collect like terms, this side will be 25 equals, this one will be 5p. So, when you divide by 5p will be equal to 5. Now you can substitute the price in either equation so to get the quantity. When you substitute, the Q will be equal, let us use this equation, will be 35 minus 3.2 times 5, be 35 minus 16. So when you subtract it, you'll get 19. So the equilibrium quantity will be 19 units. Also, you ask to calculate the price elasticity of demand. Now, price elasticity of demand, since you are given the equation, we'll use the calculus. So, price elasticity of demand, you differentiate this equation, which is dq over dp. When you differentiate the demand equation, will be negative 3.2. Now, we know price elasticity is equal to PD equals to change in Q over change in P times P over Q. So you times the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, which would be 5 over 19. So when you multiply this information, here will be negative 16 over 19. And when you divide this one by using calculator, you'll get negative 0.8. Okay? So the price elasticity of demand will be negative 0.8. So thank you for listening. This is the end of our presentation. We'll meet next time. Thank you.